to show you now, Deborah and I, how to make elderberry syrup. And the recipe is pretty simple. We're going to use dried elderberries. These are a variety, European elderberry, Sambucus nigra. So you can use also North American elderberries as well, but beware, do not use the red elderberries. They are toxic and poisonous, but any raw elderberry is toxic, and it's cyanide and lectins that will make you sick. So if you cook them, those go away, and so that's what we're going to do now.
So you can't just pick an elderberry and eat it.
Right. How much? About 2 ounces?
Yeah, it looks like your note here says 3/4 of a cup if you don't have a kitchen scale. Do you prefer to weigh things, or do you do it both ways?
With this one, you don't have to be that accurate, but I'm going to measure about 2 ounces. That's 2 ounces there. But if it was fresh, it's about 2 cups of fresh elderberry. So I'm going to just put that in my pot, and then let's see, these other things are optional. The main thing is the elderberry, but if you want to put some cloves, ginger, you've got cinnamon there.
This is cinnamon? Oh,
yeah.
That sounds great.
Rose hips is another one. It's high in vitamin C. But we're really going for the elderberry. So we're just going to add, for flavor, like a few, what did I say here? A few cloves. So it's about a teaspoon of cloves in there. Oh, it smells so good. Yeah, and that's Ceylon cinnamon too.
That's beautiful. What do you mean by Ceylon cinnamon?
Well, there's different varieties. So now I'm adding about 4 cups of water to that. And now I have my woody herbs in my water, and I'm going to boil this, simmer it for probably about 45 minutes. So it boils down to about half, and then we'll strain it into this mason jar here. And I happen to have like a nicely fitted strainer that fits in here. And once it is cool, then I can add my honey in there. And I usually add about 1 cup of honey to 2 cups of concoction.
So when you're cooking that, can you just cook it at a rapid boil really fast to reduce it, or is it better to do low and slow for a longer period of time?
That's a good question. I think some people like to do low and slow, and they'll actually boil it, turn it off, and then the next day boil it again so it has the whole night to steep. But yeah, woody herbs take time to like release all of their goodness. So,
so maybe don't rush it?
Yeah, don't rush it. Okay, so I've already strained my elderberry, and you can see it's here in a beautiful red wine-like
Look
hue.
at that color.
Yes.
It is a deep purpley
and I would
wine color.
I would love to add like a label on here to show like how long I should be storing this. So in a freezer, about 6 months. And that's how I store it most of the time anyway.
Really?
Yeah, because it melts so quickly out of the freezer. So I'm going to probably put my ingredients on here and a date that I made this, and be sure after 6 months maybe to make a fresh batch. Another thing you can do is add a big dollop of peach brandy. That extends the shelf life of your elderberry syrup, and it tastes quite good.
Yes, I bet.
So I did want to mention a little bit about the properties of honey, since we are the BeeChicas. Honey's antibacterial, antiseptic, antiviral, antifungal. It soothes burns on your skin, promotes your immune system, reduces stomach upset, and it's moistening for the respiratory tract. So I think that's why it is good for like cold and flus. Promotes tissue healing, and it's an expectorant for the lungs as well. So that's
So Tracy, honey is temperature sensitive, right?
Oh yes, thank you, Deborah. So don't heat it above 105 degrees so that it still keeps its raw good properties. It's one of those amazing herbs. It's antiviral and anti-inflammatory, high in vitamin C and antioxidants like phenolic acids, flavonols, and anthocyanins. With elderberry syrup, if you take it within 2 days of getting a flu, that meta-analysis says that it reduces the length of your flu-like symptoms for by 4 days, like by half.
Wow,
Yeah. So
impressive.
it is.
Bottoms up.
Yes. Thank you.
Oh.